Thank you and welcome to the show today. The topic this morning is President Obama's visit to Africa and why some countries are not happy. And we have with us to talk about the visit that the president recently made to Africa and why some countries are not happy, our resident African expert, Dr. LMadu. And of course, Dr. LMadu, I think that you've talked about Africa in so many ways on this particular show, and we're certainly delighted to have you back today to talk about what we consider to be a very, very important topic, because I think it, in a real sense, brings Africa within the perimeter of what is going on the national level. Let's allow you, Dr. LMadu, to sort of reflect on the president's visit to Africa and why some countries might not be happy about his visit, not necessarily his visit to Africa, but because he did not visit their country specifically, I would imagine. Let's talk about it from that perspective.
Well, thanks, for inviting me to your program again. Always a delight, to be here. On June 26th to July the 3rd this year, President Obama will be visiting Africa. He will visit 3 countries on the continent: South Africa, Tanzania, and South Africa, Tanzania, and one other country. Let me trying to remember. Yeah, and one other country. So during his visit, he will discuss bilateral relations with those countries, and economic relations, democratization, etc., etc. Senegal is the third one. Yeah. Now, his first visit to Africa was in 2009.
So we're really talking about the second visit that the president's going to make to Africa. Okay.
Exactly.
And this is a planned visit so far. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay. I see. Visit. Good. Very good.
Yeah. And his first visit to Africa was in 2009. When he visited Ghana. And at that time, a lot of countries were also, upset that he didn't visit them. But Obama wanted to use Ghana to highlight the new administration's thinking about Africa insofar as democratization is concerned, respect for human rights and all that. And Ghana has been in the forefront, as far as that is concerned in sub-Saharan Africa. The elections, have been free and fair and devoid of violence and all that. So Obama wanted to use that to say, look, if you want me to visit your country, or if you want the United States to look favorably to your leadership, you need to see what Ghana is doing in terms of democratization, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, all those things we enjoy here. That's why he went to Ghana. Naturally, a lot of countries were upset, but he couldn't visit all countries, even if he wanted to. There are about 54 countries in Africa. Now, this year, he's going to go to Tanzania, South Africa, and Senegal. These 3 countries. And a lot of countries are already saying, well, why is he not coming to our countries? Nigeria, Ethiopia, Uganda, Tanzania, etc., etc. But the fact is that the president cannot visit every country in
54
Africa.
African countries.
Okay? He cannot. Not only because of logistics, but also for financial reasons. This trip, that's a week, is going to cost $100 million. That's, staff and Secret Service and you name it. That's a lot of money. When Clinton visited, it cost about $48 million. 1990s to 2013 is a long way. So you can see the increase in the
It actually costs that much in terms of the federal treasury paying that much money just to visit these 3 countries in Africa.
Exactly. So you can imagine how much it's going to cost to visit 6, 7, 8 countries at a time. Okay. Secondly, Obama is using these 3 countries again to emphasize the need for political democratization in Africa. South Africa has been having free elections. Since Mandela came out, he handed over to Mbeki. Mbeki stayed and handed over to Jacob Zuma. All have been free and fair elections. Senegal already has a lot of free and fair elections. The last president defeated an incumbent which is very hard to do in Africa. So that's an example of what Obama is talking about. Then Tanzania, has had free and fair elections, even though one party, is dominant, but at the same time, the elections have been transparent.
Very good. Dr. Dooley, we'll stop at this point, and we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.